Okay, I've had rewarding dialogues via a blog.
I'd say that was a yes. So I get to move to number 7.
Yeah. Okay. And I
And
think
you?
I move alongside you as well, yeah.
Okay. Helen, we'll come back to the board game later, but could you start off by telling me about your Esteem project, what the aims were and why you chose that particular thing to study?
The overall aim of the project was to investigate how academics in STEM-related fields, so science, technology, engineering and mathematics, how they're currently using social media. I was interested in what they were doing, what they were using, and how that was influencing their daily working practices and their career progression. Some academics are blogging daily, they're tweeting all the time. Other academics, on the other hand, aren't using it at all. So it was trying to find out what is motivating some individuals to use it pretty much in everything they do, and what is stopping other people using it at all.
So in terms of social media, we mean blogging, Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I was keen to keep the term fairly broad, so anything that involves digital media, enabling people to engage with people and engage with wider audiences, really.
So what kind of activities did you actually undertake then?
Well, as part of this research, I started off by undertaking a number of interviews with OU academics who were currently using social media. So some of these academics were very avid bloggers, some had very high-profile Twitter accounts, others were using various media sharing sites to distribute their work to various audiences. As I already said, I was keen to find out what was stopping some people using it as well. So moving on from the interviews, I then conducted a broader online survey that not only reached OU academics but went further out into other higher education institutions and asked the questions, what are you using and why, but also asked the people that weren't using it, why not, in order to get an idea of what the barriers were, what was stopping some people.
So why are some academics motivated to use social networking and others aren't?
Well, this was some of the interesting finds that came out of the research. Amongst other things, the first thing we did was manage to develop some different usage patterns, so user group profiles that described how people were using it. So this ranged from non-adopters who hadn't started using it at all, right up to expert communicators who had basically integrated social media into pretty much everything they did. In terms of what motivates some people, there were various different motivations that we found. So, for example, those people that weren't using it very much tended to be motivated by external factors. So they'd been invited to use a particular tool by a colleague, or a project might have demanded it, or it might be an institutional requirement. Other people that are using it more frequently tended to give reasons such as for self-development reasons. So examples were for using Twitter to find information or to follow experts in a particular field. Quite a lot of people mention maintaining and strengthening existing networks, so communicating with the same people but via a different medium. What set the expert communicators aside was their motivation to widen the networks. And a lot of the terminology used here was about engagement, public engagement, finding new audiences for work. Another key thing that came out of this was about strategic networking. So this was about making ties and building networks with people who they might not have reached otherwise, people who they thought could be useful for their career development or that would be particularly interested in their work.
So we've got motivations and we've got barriers. Tell me a little bit more about what the barriers seem to be.
Well, the barriers were very wide-ranging as well. For some people, and it was about time. So a lack of time. We know everyone's under enormous pressure at the moment to do a lot of different things. But the lack of time aspect was mainly related to blogging. So people who would like to blog but found that it took a lot of time. There were other barriers. Some people said they didn't have the confidence to post things publicly online. When it came down to tools like Twitter and Facebook, there were a lot more negative perceptions around tools like those. So people felt it wasn't a work-related tool and it wasn't something they should be using as part of their professional lives. I use those two as examples because those are the ones that people will have heard of, but there were lots of other networks that were mentioned, particularly in the academic field. Things such as academia.edu and ResearchGate were also mentioned. And they have a more specific role, especially in academia.
So the outcomes were that there are these motivations and barriers, and you have a game of snakes and ladders here. So I'm guessing the motivations are the ladders and the barriers of the snakes. Do you want to talk me
right.
through how the game came into being?
Yeah, sure. This was a less conventional way of disseminating some of the work we did. I started working with Anne Grand, who works within the Open University, and she was working on a similar project that was looking at digital media and how it can enable researchers to get their work out to other people. Together we kind of put together the findings for both our projects, and we developed a workshop that we undertook for the first time at the 3rd Esteem annual conference. And we put together this prototype of the social media, snakes and ladders for social media. So following on from the initial workshop, we then received a little bit of additional funding and worked alongside Peter Devine and Rick Holloman, also at the OU. And we had a proper boxed game put together with cards and counters. And the idea is that this can be taken along to various workshops where you want to start dialogues about social media and how it can be used at work. So the idea is that we have a pack of cards with various statements on about social media. And as a group of people playing the game, you would discuss those statements one by one. And people that agreed with each statement would then move along the board. Okay. And as you progress through the board, you're having more and more conversations about how social media might be used at work.
Well, there's only the two of us, but can we have a go anyway?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So we have a set number of cards here. And for example, some of these statements say things like, some of them say quite negative things like, I don't use social media for my work, but neither do most of the people I work with.
Well, I'd say a yes for that. So I can move forward one.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I'm heading towards a ladder. This could be good.
Yeah, this could be good. This could be good. And the idea is some of these statements are about more intense use of social media than others. So if, for example, it's about blogging and how you blog every day and get good feedback on your blog, then you'll be moving up the board a lot quicker than statements about holding back because of other concerns such as privacy or negative perceptions of social media itself. So the idea is you move through the board and you have those discussions in a group of your peers.
I've just seen the next card.
Yeah.
I'm a member of LinkedIn and I have good network connections, so I'm going to whiz up a ladder.
Excellent.
And
yeah,
would you be the same for you?
Yes, it would. I use LinkedIn and I'm building a fairly good network there, yeah.
Okay, so talk me through what the kind of principal outcomes and impacts of the study.
Well, I think from an individual's viewpoint, it's about ensuring that training is available so they can understand how to use these tools. I think it's about sharing good practice, so people who are using this successfully, it's about letting other people know how it's benefited them. And I think it's about having a clear idea of what it is you want to achieve through using these tools and using it in a very targeted way. From an institutional point of view, I think it's about recognising these activities as being beneficial, but not only to the individual but to the organisation, and about rewarding those activities.
Helen, thank you.
Thank you.